Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Touliatos, brought to you by his book, Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You can also read Dr. George's work every month in Muscular Development Magazine, and every Tuesday, brand new content on musculardevelopment.com. Please welcome from Athens, Greece, Dr. George Touliatos. How are you, George?
Hi, Ron. How are you doing?
Week 5. Is this week 5? For the U.S., I think we're in week 5.
Week 5, but it's week 6 for the gyms closed.
Yeah, you're right. I think tomorrow's going to be 6 weeks. Wow. That's why I got my ironic shirt on, all about the gains, because not many people are making gains right now. If you're holding on to your gains, you're doing pretty well.
So I managed to finish my book
about
nutrition and supplements, and the text is ready. So by this week, he's gonna start, doing the formation of the cover, etc. And then I hope to be loaded on Amazon by next month.
Wow, what's the title?
Training, nutrition, supplementation in bodybuilding.
Okay.
And it's gonna be cheaper than the other books. It's gonna cost about $15, €15. And the pages are going to be 100 pages, but the drugs were 200 and 250 pages, so it's smaller in volume.
Wow.
But I think it covers all the necessary and the basic things that a starter needs to know. And even in advanced level, he needs to understand some things better under medical terms, and scientific evaluation and data.
Yeah. Did you write this in Greek, in English at the same time?
Very small parts, yes, but actually it was a translation. It took me 10 days.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So you've actually made very good use of this quarantine time, doctor. A lot of people aren't doing anything productive. They're just, drinking, smoking pot, watching Netflix, playing video games. Nothing productive.
I deny to lift my 10-pound dumbbells because this is not something that is going to help me significantly. So I do some cardio. Yeah. The point is I have dropped weight. I need to get back into the gym like everybody. Yeah. And I promise I won't miss a day. I may train 6 times a week now from now on because we have a quarantine next September also. Yeah. Don't forget that.
What did you say, September?
Fall. They talk about fall,
No. I don't want to hear it. No. 2 more weeks. That's what I want to hear.
It is a possibility.
Let me out.
Stops here next Sunday. The quarantine officially is April 27th, so I hope I'm going to have a haircut next Monday.
Look at all that hair. So now you don't know anybody with like a private gym, like a home gym that's got good equipment that would have let you train?
Yeah, I know a few guys. I cannot rat them, but...
no, but I mean, why aren't you going there?
I don't want to, suck people, and beg for this.
Well, I mean, you're worried about getting the virus?
You may get a serious penalty, for that.
Oh, really? Huh. Oh, okay.
Oh, of course.
There's a lot of people here doing it. If you look on Instagram, I'd say about 25% of the people I follow on Instagram, they're training at really awesome home gyms, either their gym or somebody they know. Like I see people that have like hammer strength machines at their home gyms.
Really? They must be millionaires.
They got some good money, yeah. Dan Solomon, who promotes the Olympia.
Yes, I know. But he was offered the machines, huh?
Right. He's got a great setup, and they came and put everything together for him, which I would need because I don't know how to put anything together. But man, I don't have the room, so I'm not going to complain. Even if somebody was going to give me the equipment, I have nowhere to put it. So, yeah. I have 3 dumbbells, so I'm okay. Here we go.
So, think about the garage or outdoors. You can do it in the wintertime,
Right. Well, the weather's getting fine here, and it's springtime. You could do it, but what am I going to put in my backyard? I guess. I'm not worried about it. I really think gyms here are going to open within the next 2 to 4 weeks. I think we're going to be back in the gyms here in my state.
Officially May, and then perhaps by October, the Olympian will be ready, the athletes for the Olympic, in case it is.
Well, the Olympia says they're still doing it, and they're still doing it on the day that it's supposed to happen. That's what they're saying. So maybe no crowd, maybe no spectators, maybe no expo. Maybe maybe just the athletes and the press and some coaches.
I think they should do it only for the athletes. It's a shame not to have it,
Yeah, you have to have the Olympia. You can't not have. You can't have
just like the Arnold,
Right, you have to have the Olympia. You can't have a year and.
The lineup will be similar to the Arnold. It has to be.
Yeah, because I mean, who else is qualified? It was almost all the top people from the Olympia.
This was the last show before the the COVID virus. So these guys were the only guys in shape around the world.
Right, right. So I guess, Brandon's over is he in Kuwait now? I don't know where Brandon is. But Brandon has his own.
Yeah, he posted a story that he trains undercover, to somebody, to a friend of his. But I'm not sure this is equal as good as the Oxygen gym.
Well, he owns a gym, Brandon. I went to, they had a grand opening. It's in Tennessee. It's in Franklin, Tennessee, outside of Nashville. I went there in late February, or it was late January. I'm sorry. It's got everything. It's got excellent equipment. It's not a huge gym, but it's a real gym. So I imagine Brandon and the other owner. Oh my God, his name is slipping me at the minute. But I'm sure they're still training, and if you're Mr. Olympia, you should be allowed to train, especially if you own a gym. So I'm not mad at him. I wish I could train there, but I'm not going to cry about it. Well, doctor, 15 questions. We're getting a lot of questions. People are getting used to.
Last week we had 16, huh?
16. I mean, I don't want to break this record. I don't want to. If it gets to like 20 questions, or I think we're at the point where eventually we're just going to have to pick the best questions because we might get 100 questions someday. Who knows? The first few shows we did were like 5 questions, 6 questions.
I think it's about the quarantine. People are not busy with anything else. So, yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of people
on the other side, we get more famous like this, and people start to appreciate it instead of become greedy.
Right. Yeah, 30 million people applied for unemployment in the USA in March. 30 million.
Yeah.
It's a lot. That's a lot of people. I know a lot of them. So
15 to 20%, I heard the rates.
Yeah, it's
ever else since the 1929 suppression.
The Great Depression. I think we're going to beat that. We don't want to beat that, but I think we're going to. All right, doctor, we got some questions. Let's get going. Here we go. Okay. Question number 1. Question for the doctor. In a study of DHEA in healthy young men, Nestler et al., 1988, found that 1,600 milligrams per day of DHEA increased serum androstenedione, increased lean muscle mass, reduced fat mass, and lowered serum LDL cholesterol. They did not find a change in serum testosterone or insulin sensitivity over the study duration of 28 days. To the best of my knowledge, the only result from this study to be repeated in other studies is an increase in androstenedione from DHEA supplementation. What is your clinical understanding of DHEA monotherapy at various doses with regards to body composition, hormone balance, and libido? So
DHEA metabolizes to estrogens and actually estrone, which is E1, which is a less potent androgen like estradiol, beta estradiol, which is E2. It metabolizes to estrone through androstenedione. Now, androstenedione was a prohormone that Patrick Arnold manufactured back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it's an androgen, of course, that may when you take it as a prohormone, metabolize and increase eventually your testosterone levels. Now, DHEA is called as the mother of all hormones because through DHEA we may have metabolites like testosterone, DHT also, but also estrogens under the metabolism of DHEA. Now, DHEA, of course, is an androgen that may stimulate also beta oxidation of adipose tissue in the long term. Of course, you have to supplement it according to your serum DHEA levels. And also, we have to know that a metabolite of DHEA is 7-keto-DHEA, which is a potent thermogenic agent that used as a fat burner. Actually, 7-keto-DHEA has no effects on the sexual hormones, just DHEA, the regular one. But 7-keto is capable of burning. Now, on the other hand, DHEA as an androgen may bind to SHBG, the sex hormone binding globulin, and liberate more free testosterone. That's why it's a libido enhancer, DHEA. Now, in women, it has the opposite effect because under polycystic ovarian syndrome, women develop hirsutism, increased libido, increased DHEA levels, but in women, this is linked to insulin resistance. So in women, it has the opposite metabolic, it has the opposite effect of according to the insulin sensitivity. In men, it may improve because it oxidizes fat, but in women, under POCS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, we may have insulin resistance. That's why anabolic steroids in women may favor diabetes, unlike in men, that they oxidize mental fat and improves insulin sensitivity. And that's why some anabolic steroids that do not aromatize, like Winstrol, Primobolan, and Anavar, may be hypothetically be used for the treatment of obesity. Obesity, but not of metabolic syndrome, because metabolic syndrome also engages dyslipidemia, and we know that anabolic steroids induce dyslipidemia by reduction of HDL, elevation of LDL. But if somebody is fat, he can use some steroids, of course, with resistance training and proper diet, in order to burn this mental fat,
Yep. Okay, cool. Next one, another HCG question. We get at least one or two of these every week. What's your opinion about the usage of HCG during and not after a cycle? Could HCG help against the negative feedback of androgens in the hypothalamus? And do you think that after the end of the cycle, HPTA axis will work efficiently in steroid users who combined androgens and HCG during the cycle?
Now, using HCG alongside with your cycle, the cycle has to be over 12 or 16 weeks, so 3 to 4 months, because this is a substantial suppression. And you may use it in order to avoid your testicular shrinkage and also to have an endogenous testosterone production, so that after the cycle is over, you may be able to recover with a proper PCT protocol easier. However, if you are under cutting phase pre-contest, we know that HCG may elevate indirectly estrogens through this testosterone production, so you may not need this thing when you are pre-contest. But off-season, yes. Besides, estrogens are preferable to be high under off-season, because they also help with anabolic drive. But Rich Piano mentioned that, and he said, well, the old-fashioned classic thing is to wait and seize the cycle and then start the classic PCT, okay, that Bill Welling describes and Thomas O'Connor in the Anabolics book, but also Michael Scully a long time ago. And so it's like switching on switching on with PCT protocol, and when you use steroids, this HPTA switch off. So you kind of mix the organism, the system, when you alongside use AAS and HCG. But you still can recover easier if you're using HCG alongside your steroid cycle. It's like using HCG along with your TRT. So your balls will never die, will never complete shrink, and you have some decent ejaculation volume.
My ball, rest in peace, my balls. I miss you guys. I miss them. They were cool. Oh well. Proviron. We always get Proviron questions. So this guy says, you said you can take Proviron with TRT and stay on it for long periods. How much would a typical dosage be, and when would you take it in a day? I'm currently on 150 milligrams test a week and just looking to add it to my protocol.
Now, you can start low with 25 milligrams, and I believe up to 50 milligrams it's bearable and will not suppress your HDL. But there are some other patients of mine that have remarkably elevated HBG up to 100, and they don't feel so good sexually, even though the total testosterone is up to 6, 7, or 8, even 100. Because free testosterone, which is the real deal, is suppressed by the highest HBG. So in that case, I tell them to use 100 milligrams of Proviron.
Wow.
So that practically means every 5 days they need another box of Proviron, which is not so comfortable to have, It's not so easy to have it, yes. And you can use 25 to 50 milligrams. Besides, Proviron is among the very few non-17 alkylated pills, along with also Primobolan and testosterone in capsules in Andriol or Restindol.
Yeah.
So it does not cause any liver damage like the 17 alkylated pills.
Okay, cool. Prolactin. We always get prolactin questions. Here we go. I recently got my blood work done and everything is fine except high prolactin, 477. I have taken 25 milligrams enanthate, testananthate, every day for 2 years, but around 3 months ago, I started a low dose of Deca for lower back and leg pain, 30 milligrams twice a week. Do you think the Deca caused the high prolactin? I have stopped taking it. Is there anything else I can do to get the prolactin down?
Yes, it may favor when, and he mentions how much DECA he used.
Yeah, he says he does 30 milligrams twice a week, so 60 milligrams of Deca a week.
That's not a lot, but also you have to know other conditions that favor prolactinemia, such as hypothyroidism, low thyroid function, so elevated TSH, insomnia and stress, and also also opiates, the painkillers. All right. Yeah. But usually, yes, physical and mental stress, which is also part of insomnia, may elevate. And you have to use a dopamine agonist, either cabergoline or bromocriptine. They are the two medications used to lower your prolactin.
Okay. Frag 191. Do you know what Frag 191 is? Is that
it's growth hormone, which consists of 191 amino acids.
Okay, because the next question is very specific about it. He says, how much Frag 191 would be required to achieve the fat loss benefits of 4IU's farmer grade human growth hormone?
Well, I don't see any difference between 191 and growth hormone because it's the same thing.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't know, maybe this guy is confused. Maybe he means something else, another fragment, because there's also one fragment 176. I think that it favors fat burning. Okay.
Yeah, let's just move ahead. Does Proviron negatively affect the heart?
No, we said before that super high androgens, like also testosterone and Proviron also, or other androgens, may reduce HDL, and this has to do with a specific protein that is affected, endothelial lipase, I think. So in this way, I see no other way that Proviron may affect the heart. I mean, it's not a super androgen that may increase strength, and then this would increase also your left ventricular hypertrophy because you push a lot of weights.
Yeah.
But also, it's not the 17-alkylated that may lead to atherogenesis in the arterial endothelium as the 17-alkylated steroids do. Okay, they crash HDL and they boost LDL.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't think that Proviron will do that. I'm using all year around Proviron, low dose, and I keep my lipids in decent levels. Okay, HDL above 40, LDL below 100. All right, but don't expect Proviron to work efficiently in the muscles because it's deactivated as soon as DHT is getting to the muscle, has perhaps some slight fat burning properties and anti-estrogenic properties, so you may look leaner. Gotcha. Okay.
Someone asked me and you, I think it was directed more to me, about contest condition. I'm going to do an Ask Ron about that because we'll be here all day. We could do a whole show on contest condition. We have a lot of other questions. So, sir, I will get to that question.
Oh, but he asked how to get lean for the show.
Yeah, thin skin, all that. I mean, that's a very involved answer.
To be very brief, has to do with diuretics, has to do with diet, of course, cardio, growth hormone, and androgens. Androgens are capable of fat burning. Okay. High androgens. Okay.
I mean, I wasn't going to get into the chemical side, which is obviously you're much better qualified to answer that.
But empty stomach, low carb, elevated protein, frequent meals. Come on, empty stomach cardio.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the classic thing, eh?
Yeah, I just didn't want to wait. It's a long, involved answer, so I want to get. Yeah, do you want to do this one about MK677? Sure, here we go. I'm currently taking 20 milligrams of MK677 with 500 milligrams test cycle, but notice some depression, bloat, and irritation to the nipples. Do you think MK677 can increase prolactin? About the MK677, are you sure it's not leading to insulin resistance? It for sure does make my fasted blood glucose go up. I measured myself and many other users reported the same. Many said they reached pre-diabetic levels and then used berberine to battle this. and or took breaks from MK677, so the blood sugar lowers again after a few days. So I guess they want to know, can it increase prolactin, MK677?
Yes, it can. It can under prolonged and elevated doses, because growth hormone itself is also linked to elevated prolactin. And actually, during puberty, when the boys catches up really fast in height, they also they have a sign of gynecomastia induced by prolactinemia, because growth hormone, it comes out of from the same spot in front lobe of hypophysis, adenohypophysis, in the same spot where prolactin is also released. So by a huge wave of growth hormone, there comes also some prolactin that leads to some gynecomastia in the teenagers, and this milky thing.
Yeah. So would it also, insulin resistance? Go ahead.
About the insulin resistance, we know that GH itself favors insulin resistance, okay? Gluconeogenesis from the liver to the periphery, and glycemia appears. So hypothetically, under prolonged abuse of MK677, because there is a production of growth hormone. That's what it do. Gotcha. That's what it does, okay? That's the job.
Okay, next one is a 50-year-old man, just like me. He said, I'm 50 years old. I did PEDs for 5 years between 25 and 30 years old. Then I saw I was never going to be a pro bodybuilder and stopped them and stopped training and hated bodybuilding. How dare you, sir? I got back to weight training when I was 40 and fell in love with it again. Good. 2 years ago, I started to feel depressed and tired every day, so a friend recommended I should do TRT. I started with 100 milligrams of test every 5 or 6 days. I take no anti-estrogen. I weight train 5 days per week and do cardio 3 times per week and follow a good diet with 5 clean meals every day. I feel great with no more depression, very fit, and great sex drive. Then he lets you know I never had a problem with this. Good for you, sir. My questions are, number 1, should I do mini breaks for the TRT? If so, for how long? Or can I continue to take it with no breaks as the dosage is small? And 2, should I take anything else besides testosterone?
Okay, TRT is not about cycling. It's a lifetime decision.
Yes.
Since you are ill, this is your medication. If you're hypogonadal, you cannot survive without testosterone. And then you can add on this some other secondary androgens, such as proviron, which is DHT, DHA also, pregnenolone, and also you may add HCG in order to have your to avoid your testicular shrinkage and have a decent sperm production and ejaculation volume. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's I've noticed a lot of people, they don't really understand what TRT is.
TRT is testosterone replacement. It's just testosterone, but HRT is composed of some other chemicals also. It's about hormone balance, you know.
People do ask me that. I get a lot of people saying, should I take breaks from TRT? I say,
no,
diabetics don't take breaks from insulin. Come on.
Yes, they think that this is a cycle. It's not a cycle, you know.
Yeah, I know. Next one. Is it possible to gain fat while using T3? For example, I saw slow but steady decreases of fat at 75 micrograms per day. As an experiment, I tried 100 micrograms per day and noticed I looked puffy after a couple weeks. Dropped back to 75 micrograms and the puffiness went away. Sounds like water retention to me.
Yeah, they sound weird to me, and I'm not sure what this guy. I'm not aware of this guy, what he eats and what his diet is, but I assume that the only explanation of that is that when he elevated his T3 dose, maybe he elevated also his caloric income to 20%, and he got fat. Just this doesn't mean that if you take the fat burners and you eat like a pig, you're gonna get you're gonna lean out, you know.
I know people who diet and they take DNP so they can still eat pizza and French fries and stuff like that. Horrible.
They eat junk and they take hydroxycut with every meal.
No, they're taking DNP with every meal, dumbasses. Okay, this is a question about pinning, our injections. This guy says, I pin every day, so if I do my right delt today, then hit it again 3 days later, it's still a little sore. Have you guys stuck a muscle that was still sore from the shot a couple days prior? Also, I'm pinning an hour before my workout. Does that sound right? First of all, Doc, if you have a sore delt from a shot, would you stick a needle in there again?
No.
No.
We rotate, okay? We rotate the spots. 1 week here, the next week to the other one, or I mean Monday, Wednesday, whatever it is.
Well, he's pinning every day, so that does make
If
things a
he's
little
pinning
more
every day, he has to pin to the lateral head and then to the rear head.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, okay? So have 4 spots.
Side delt, rear delt. I would
Yes.
go right glute, left glute.
Yes,
That's
you can do
probably
that.
about
You
it.
can rotate.
I can't
feel
reach
like
my
it's
lat.
Yeah.
Some people get their lats. I don't know how they do that. They
The
got,
lats are doing this way. The lats are doing this way, you know, crossing.
I can't even reach. I can't reach my freaking lat. Okay. I don't know if you know the answer to this. What are the ingredients in cardarine, specifically the one that gives energy?
Come on, cardenine, what are the ingredients? It's a single compound, you know? It is not a serum, but it's a PP something E agonist. That means cardarine is capable of producing energy. How? It shifts the energy release from the anaerobic carbohydrate sources to the fat sources. Actually, fat it's prolonged energy. So low pace cardio, 60 to 70%, will take a walk. It's not about heat or anaerobic. And so this favors cardio endurance exercise.
Yeah.
All right. And also it boosts HDL levels. So it's good for your lipid, for your HDL in case you take some steroids, okay? But also it favors your cardio, your endurance ability in your performance, you know?
So it's probably more valuable for endurance athletes than it would be for a bodybuilder.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, endurance athletes already stimulate HDL elevation by the prolonged cardio. So I don't know which one. I mean, if cardio elevates or the cardio that you perform with cardio elevates the HDL.
Yeah.
But and it's something manufactured, not over the counter, you know. So you have to have a reliable source.
Yeah. Okay. Why is Proviron considered safe for long-term TRT add-on, but Masteron is not considered safe? Both lower HDL. Does Masteron have other health concerns over Proviron?
Well, they lower HDL under abuse, prolonged abuse, actually. Now, Proviron is pharmaceutical grade long time ago. Okay, it's made in Germany by Bayern. Masteron was made until the late 90s in Belgium as the antiestrogenic effect for breast cancer in women. But one injection of Masteron is 100 milligrams. That equals to 4 pills of Proviron. So the dose is much higher. And it has to be injected every other day because it's a propionate ester. Okay.
I just made the connection in my head about Masteron, the name Masteron of the drug, and like mastectomy.
Yes.
Well, mast is like, it must be a
yes,
Latin or
yes,
Greek word for the breast, I'm guessing.
Yes, it's breast, yes.
I never took me how many years to just make that connection?
Maybe there is a correlation, yes, the generic name.
Well, Masteron was a trade name, I think. I think that was the actual trade name by the pharmaceutical company. Okay. Next question. I'm a 22-year-old powerlifter. For purposes of preserving fertility, I have been using a 5,000 IU vial of HCG every 2 to 3 months. Whenever my ejaculate volume gets very low and makes sex less enjoyable, I take a shot every other day at 250 to 500 IU until it runs out. I'm also continuously using steroids. Currently, 250 milligrams testosterone cypionate per week, along with 100 milligrams Masteron and Anthate per week. My question is the HCG making any difference to help preserve fertility or other natural functions, or would it make just as much sense, be as effective, to wait and take larger amounts of HCG when I'm ready to come off steroids and have a child? In any case, I'd like to preserve fertility for 10 to 15 years if possible. I know there's a risk of infertility with the long-term use of anabolic androgenic steroids, but it seems to be rare, especially with the use of HCG, HMG, Clomid, etc. So should he be taking HCG now to preserve fertility?
Yes, I don't think it's a good idea to wait until he finishes his steroid abuse in a decade from now, and then his testicles be completely sleeping, you know, and not waking up. So he can preserve, he can keep them a little bit awakening now, and then he can boost the protocol and use HCG, HMG, plus serums, plus some Proviron, some vitamin E also. Don't wait, that will be too late, you know.
So you're saying, Doc, I haven't used HCG. If I got some HCG right now, are you telling me it wouldn't do anything for me? Because I've been on steroids for years and years?
Well, you have to do a seminal diagram first to see if you have some. This is the reason you're doing. Besides, you told me that your sperm volume is negligible. It's
Well,
very
it's
low.
not it ain't what it used to be. I'll tell you that. No, no, it's not the
So,
porno movie stuff. No,
well,
not that.
from this point of view, you may start using low doses. So 500 IUs once a week,
Okay.
or 250 twice a week, and then gradually you're gonna notice some testicular volume, you know, and then this equals also sperm production.
Well, I had a vasectomy 20 years ago. So
yes, I remember.
My sperm is off in space. I don't know. It's in another dimension right now. I don't know where it goes.
What did you have after your children? What did you have this?
I don't even. I don't know whose idea it was. I don't think I wanted to do it. But
so
we
didn't want more kids. That's why.
No, we had a girl first, and then we had a boy. We had 2 kids. We didn't want any more kids. She didn't want to take birth control. I didn't want to wear condoms, so
okay.
I got snipped. Yeah. Oh well, it's okay. I didn't make any more children. That's fine. 2's enough. What do you need more than 2 for? Okay, last question, which I didn't really see a question, but I guess he has a question. For years, I'm never hungry. I can go for days without eating. I feel in good health and mentally. When I eat, it'll be once a day. My main concern is that anything I eat makes me feel sick and it knocks me out. I will fall asleep and don't know when I fell asleep.
Yes, this is very reasonable because when you eat, it sounds like IF, but when you eat 2,000 calories at once, you spike so much your insulin that serotonin is produced, and then you go to sleep. You know, you feel sleepy. Plus, you may have some insulin resistance. That's why you feel also sleepy. Yeah. But it's not a good idea. This glucose, your dog,
Hey, see?
Your glucose, yes.
I'm gonna try to get him on screen. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the question. Get up here, you bum. Up.
What's his name?
Branch, named after Branch Warren. That's all right. He's not coming up. So anyway, this guy, he's getting insulin spikes.
This guy is eating a hell of too much thing. So his serum insulin elevates dramatically. That leads to serotonin production that induces sleep. But also this fluctuation in glucose before the meal and after the meal will favor fat storage. So it's not a good idea to eat like a pig once a day, you know, and then go to sleep like the cavemen do. I
don't know if I believe this guy. I'm not calling, sir, if you're watching, I'm not saying you're a liar, but it sounds very, very hard to believe that a person can go for days without eating. Who can do that? And I would be dead. I'd feel like I was on death's door after like one day.
It's philosophy of bodybuilding, you know, and he wastes his muscles all the time. You know?
Well, if he's not eating, this guy doesn't have any muscle. There's no way you could go days without eating.
Obviously, he doesn't lift without.
No, I don't think so. I don't know how he found Dr. Testosterone, but here he did. He found you. I'd say that guy probably needs to go to a doctor and get a lot of tests done, because that doesn't sound right to me. That he's never hungry, never, and he can go days without eating. That sounds very serious.
You may use cocaine, you know, and because it's a fresh appetite, you know.
Meth is really good. I've known people that use meth can go days without eating. I know that. I've heard that.
Sniff cocaine in order to remain skinny.
Hey, that was the 80s. The 80s was all about the cocaine and the heroin chic. But anyway.
The 90s, yes.
Yeah, the 90s. Okay, Doctor. Well, we're all looking forward to this new book. You've actually made amazing use of your time in quarantine. I guess it's a good thing you only had 10-pound dumbbells, because it forced you to sit down and write all day, and you did. So
I hope that MD will promote the book also.
Of course we will. Of course we will. We very much appreciate you, Doctor. You do a lot for muscular development, guys. Not only do we do this, he does this show. He answers all your questions, and I think if you add up all the questions that you've answered, it's like 1,000 questions by now, because we average like 10 to 12 questions a show. Well, anyway, it's at least 800 questions. Every month in the magazine, there's a column from Dr. Touliatos. Every week on the website on Tuesday, we call it Dr. T Tuesdays, because that's when the doctor has a new article every week on the website. So much information for you guys, and there's not many medical doctors in the world who are willing to be this open and honest about PED use, how it's used, how to do it safely, how to do it effectively. So, Doctor, you're doing a very valuable service to so many of these people all around the world. Guys, if you're watching this, tell your friends to watch these videos. Get us some more views, more subscribers, because Dr. Tuliados is worth it. He's doing some amazing work here, and we appreciate you, Doctor. Yeah. And what a book, Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There's all kinds of stuff in here, drug profiles. It's a basic primer. If you're thinking about using steroids, or even if you're using them and you really don't have any idea what you're doing, this book will give you a much, much clearer understanding of how to use these drugs effectively and a little safer than you've probably been doing. Well, Doctor, that's all the questions I have. In week 5 or 6, I don't know what week this is. It's a long week.
It was a fast one, huh?
Yeah, 35 minutes. It was okay. Yeah, we used to do these in like 15 minutes when we had like 5 questions. But guys, if you want to know where to leave the questions, put them in the comments right here under the video. Hit the subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and the bell so you know when we release new videos. But these videos with Dr. Testosterone every Tuesday, Dr. T Tuesday. Well, Doctor, that's all I have for you. Back to beautiful weather you're having in Greece. I see the videos you send me. Looks like
you had snow the day before yesterday, and Chad Nichols asked you, "Is this happening?" Yes.
It was about that much. It melted the next day. It was all gone. It's all gone right now. Yeah, I can't see any on any lawns or anything looking out my window.
How warm is now? Is 60?
60. It's like 50 to 60. It'll go down in the 40s. We fluctuate up and down.
Yeah.
But we're having kind of a cold spring here, as you can see. But it's okay. No, we're not doing much anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, all right, Doctor. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it very much. And everybody, thanks for watching. Ask Dr. Testosterone with Dr. George Tuliados. We'll see you next time.